So please welcome Dr. Justin Frank. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. It's nice to talk to you, Andy.
It's always great to talk to you.
I enjoy talking to you, too. It's really always been a pleasure.
Well, listen, here's what I thought we could do. I'm sure you've seen it, and I know that you've written about it already, but I want to listen to the piece of audio that I have showing George Bush Sr. Saying goodbye, essentially, to his son's governorship with his son at the last leadership meeting that they would have in Florida. And then we'll listen to it together, and you can comment.
They came down the home stretch. He saw some unpleasant things happen, unfair stuff, and but he didn't whine about it, and he didn't complain. Barbara was blowing me out, breaking up. But anyway, went on. True measure of a man is how you handle victory and also defeat. So in '94, Floridians chose to re-hire the governor. They took note of his defeated opponent, who showed not merely with words, but by his actions what decency had. I can do it.
Well, you know, this is just stunning to me. Although if I don't laugh, I will cry when I see the Bushes. What did you make of that?
Well, I felt that it was much less about Jeb than it's about the legacy of becoming a family of a broken legacy, a family of people who really lost their dynasty, and that I thought he really started cracking up in the beginning about attacks, and then once he got to the idea of defeat and a measure of a man, it was very clear to me that he was talking about how much more of a man his son Jeb is than his son George is.
Yeah.
And I felt that he defends George all the time publicly because he has to, and he's fierce the way his mother is towards her children. She defends them. But at the same time, he reveres his son Jeb. And I think that he was so caught up in the emotion talking about a defeat in Florida that I actually thought it was the prototype for all the future defeats of the family, that this family has really, their dynasty is over, and I don't see people with the name Bush getting elected in the next couple of generations after what his son George had done. And I think that he feels to some extent responsible for it in some way, in that he never really intervened. He was always passive about it and about his son, and allowed himself to be pushed away and didn't fight over it. And I think that Bush himself, the one thing when you were mentioning about how scary my book was, the one thing that I scared myself when I was thinking about it was that he is fundamentally, W is fundamentally a destructive person, and that he is essentially hell-bent on destroying everything that his father built and everything that is, it's almost like some form of mockery or revenge for his own childhood, and he is so willfully indifferent and cruel that he just laughs at other people's misfortunes. It's really, including at his own daughters. I remember that, you know, when he was governor and one of his daughters had an appendectomy, and somebody said, why are you leaving town today? Your daughter just had surgery this morning. And he said, well, I'm going to go to Florida and visit with my parents or something, and I'm not really interested in how she does until she can get home and clean up her room. Something like that.
Yeah, you know, when I read your book, and I've read it twice now, you say he's got that W has got a streak of sadism, and and that he, he's a guy who is prone to obscenity-filled outbursts, and he's you know, he suffers from attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and all. But, you know, the father, I thought yesterday, was crying over the loss of the family name, because with the